Let's take a look at the labor, globalization of labor. 20 million jobs have been lost permanently in the last 10 years because of outsourcing. There have been 9 million layoffs in the last... Anybody know anybody been laid off? Yeah. 9 million layoffs in this last recession, since 2007. Corporations have something called ongoing labor cost control and reduction. Has anybody ever heard of that terminology? Ongoing cost control and reduction. How do corporations control and reduce costs of doing business? Number one, outsourcing. Labor costs for service companies average around 75%. Manufacturing companies, around 40% of the costs go to manufacturing goods and services. Technical, legal, accounting, customer services are being outsourced to India to take advantage of a staggering 75% labor cost reduction. Woo! In the USA, to manufacture a good, on average, it costs a USA manufacturer $30 an hour. Eastern Europe, $10 an hour. Mexico, $5 an hour. China, $1.36 an hour. India, 91 cents. Wow. Dell has just recently announced it closed its factories in North Carolina and moved them to Asia to take care of $1 billion each annual savings. It only makes good business sense. Countries like Ireland, New Zealand, Singapore, Spain, Bangladesh, Bulgaria, Colombia, Peru, Panama, Sri Lanka, Turkey, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Malaysia are among others, and among others provide a rich source of low-cost labor. This ongoing labor cost control, the elimination of the older worker. They outsource and then they eliminate. Corporate America eliminates the older worker. That's the next strategy. Companies have a formula called the 80-40. Have you ever heard of the 80-40? Who shared this with me teaches economics and entrepreneurship at Rutgers. He's giving me this class in my kitchen about a year ago. The formula 80-40 says a company will accept 80% productivity from a younger, less experienced worker to capitalize on 40% of the cost. Meaning, they will accept a 20% loss in productivity at a 60% cost reduction makes eliminating the older worker a high priority in order to protect profits, remain viable and competitive in a globalized economy. Globalization is never going away. Globalization is here to stay. These 20 million jobs were lost and they're never coming back. Wow. In fact, it will only get worse. American companies right now are hiring millions and millions of people. They just don't happen to be Americans. True or false?
True.
Now, this didn't exist 40 years ago. Anybody heard go to school, get a degree, then go get a good job?
Yeah.
That was an era. That era is over. The first 300 years of America was called the agricultural age. What was after? That's where everybody had their own farm. They raised their crops. They fed themselves. They did everything. Everybody basically was a business owner. Right. And then what came after the agricultural age? The industrial age. It lasted about 150 years. People didn't have to take care of themselves. They went to work for a company, and the company told them what to do and basically took care of them. And in that period of time, people lost the entrepreneurial spirit because all they had to do was go to work and do their job, and they didn't have to worry about being creative or anything else. Right. A little-known era after the industrial era was the corporate age, where companies like IBM and AT&T and these huge corporations hired tens of millions of Americans. And then after the corporate age, which was the 70s and the 80s, we went to the information age with the advent of the internet. And that's when information that was only in the hands of a few went into the hands of the whole world. And we became a globalized economy. And the thing about the information age, a bunch of money was made, but companies could make millions with 3 people in one room working on computers. Thank you very much. The money was made, but those companies did not hire millions of people. Agriculture, industrial, corporate, information age. And you know what they're teaching right now? You know what age we're in right now? The dark ages. No. Colleges are teaching entrepreneurship again. It's time to go back to the roots. Colleges are now teaching people, instead of having a job, start your own company. This article was written 2 weeks ago. I saw this USA Today. It said, this is a person calling into the expert Steve, the financial guy, business guy. People call in, write in, get his advice. Check out the question. Hey, Steve, I have a friend who's been unemployed for about 2 years. His unemployment insurance is about to run out, and he has this kooky plan now to go the self-employment route. I have tried to explain to him that this is no time to start a business. But he just won't listen to me. He likes your column. Can you steer him on the right path? Thanks. Jerry. Answer. I have a question for you, Jerry. Let's say you've been out of work for almost 99 weeks, and your unemployment benefits are about to expire, and you have no real prospects of finding a job. What do you do? Or what if you're a single mom and need the flexibility of making your own hours, but your boss doesn't quite see things that way? Or what if you have had it working for someone else, and what you really long for is to be your own boss? What do? You join the ranks of the self-employed. That's what. It is no secret that the nature of work is changing rapidly right now. More people are working outside of an office and outside of the traditional 9-to-5 job. Companies are finding that they can get by hiring freelancers instead of employees. And a whole new generation of workers are similarly discovering that they don't need that job that they once thought was so indispensable. It's a revolution, a self-employment revolution. There are many things that have coalesced to create this self-employment revolution, and not the least of which has been the challenging economy the past few years, which has forced more than a few people to become entrepreneurs, whether they wanted to or not. So take that, Jerry.